Okay, here we go. The caravan carts obviously don't contribute to those numbers. Oh, I just hope those arballistas don't have the tier 3 crossbows. Okay, it's tier 2 crossbows, which is... Okay, they all have shields. I only have one long axe. Damn. I think hold, judging by the fact that this guy moved forward, suggests that these lads will move forward as well. Exact same headset, yes, the Logitech G430. Overall, I have a mixed response to it. The sound quality is incredible. The build quality is a little plasticky and isn't great. And the comfort isn't great either. Like, it hurts my head. It leaves a ridge in my head. I might even end up going back to my Gamescom. I had a set of Gamescom G530s, which were cheaper than this, had comparable sound quality, but they were unbelievably comfortable. Just the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn. Like, unbelievable. Ah, damn, bad miss. Let's think about this. We can't move these lads forward. So we'll leave you lads where you are, but then these three will move forward here to engage. Lars, don't take out your two-handed sword just yet. We need those soldiers to go down first. We can't really move yet. Because if I like move down here, then that leaves that... it's kind of scary. Damn, I need those fucking crossbowmen to die. Let's hope they move forward and take a shot. And miss. So I should have, instead of taking a shot at this guy, I should have waited. See, now we've got fairly open shots at them. Oh, 82% and you miss. Get wrecked. Yeah, the 13th Legion's archers are just too good. Okay, that helps us an awful lot. Yeah, indeed, like the surround sound is amazing, but overall I wish I had stayed with my Gamescom. Can we go to the two-handed sword yet? I reckon we can, yeah. I'm gonna have to do that though. I don't want them surrounding. Luckily Julius and these guys have footwork. Okay, we need to grind through all these footmen. Is that the end of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. So there's no more ranged guys to worry about, so that's good. Oh, damn, Alexander, you're supposed to have nets. There's a worrying amount of picks, military picks, that we're going to have to deal with. 18% chance. Not good enough. Hold the line, men. Let them come. It's going to take forever to get through all these shields. And we need to prioritize killing the guys with the military picks, especially on the southern part of the battle here. Thank God that missed. Right. Wait for Scipio to go, because we are going to try to chew through one of these shields. Although that's not really realistic. That's going to take 2 turns for him to get through that shield, so we may as well shoot now. 27, 21, 49 is a good, probably the best we've got. Start using footwork. Great hit, well done. I think it's important to maintain the shield wall, at least for the next few turns on the front line. Archers are doing surprisingly well in terms of hitting their shots. I'm pleased. I'm just going to footwork here because it'll put him into contact with one less person. And eventually I want my raiders on the flank so they can attack into the formation. So I wasn't going to go for the shield break there, but this guy's one hit away from dying. 28, 28, 59. Good hit. Nice. Okay, here we go. Please don't stun. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, let's keep focusing down one nerd at a time here. 46%, 44. I think that's probably our best chance. At least we're overwhelming some of them. Evil Nether God soldiers. Shall strike you down. Oh, whoopsie, this guy. Did I damage one of these shields? Because, I mean, if I'm swinging at anything near like 40%, it's worth just going for the hit, but... No, let's go for the shield break here, I reckon. 32, 23, 37 is our best shot. Okay, in retrospect, I should have left behind the B team archers and brought out more two-handed axes. Good. Okay, well, that's something to bear in mind for the next fight like this. 34, 28. Wrong bloody button. I meant to use footwork. Fuck's sake. I do that so often. I wanted to be able to attack there. And now the dog's gonna die. I really do wish that they would implement a feature where you can get the dog back into your pocket after you've sent him out. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, hay fever. Sorry about this, guys. Oh. Without the crossbows, would have crossbows died so fast? Good point. And I suppose you make a fair point, because, like, I mean, these guys aren't as dangerous as the crossbowmen are. Really, what I'm noticing is that the weapon composition of my frontline guys isn't right. So if my raiders were axe raiders, we could have just chopped through these shields. But then I've expressed my misgivings with axe raiders before. They're not as overall useful. Like, in this particular fight, they would have been a lot more useful, but in 99% of the other fights, they're not as useful because you can't use the triple swing ability. I think, like, so Scipio is an axe master. I feel like we've got 7 guys up front. I think it needs to be 3 raiders. Ideally, if we didn't have these guys with not the best stats, I would have wanted 2 hammer raiders. So you've got 7 guys, right? So you've got hammer raiders on the flanks, an axe raider in the middle, 2 axe specialists on that side of the formation, and then 2 mace masters over there. Which would have been ideal, but it just didn't work out that way in terms of the soldiers we got. But I think we should still be trying to work towards that. Although, I mean, is it even worth having the Axe Masters here? Because, I mean, we have just seen all of these guys appear to have shield mastery. So even with Axe Mastery and a 2-handed axe, it takes, I think, 3 swings to break one of those shields and 2 for one of these kite shields. That's part of what I love so much about this game. You can theory craft till the end of time. Yeah, they all have shield mastery, so it takes a fair few swings to get through them. Fuck off. You can quite easily make the argument that what you should go with is flails on the front line. Because the flails just go straight past the shields and you don't have to spend time destroying the shields. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I did have one Warhammer user, but I got him killed, unfortunately. So we are working towards another two-handed raider, who's going to be an axe raider, and I think a two-handed axe would have been very, very useful. Okay, so these footmen aren't actually that terrifying. I think like bullmen would be the scariest. Poor guys. I really hope I don't have to destroy the damn donkey. I hate having to slay that ass, if you'll excuse the reference. Because killing the donkeys is just the worst. The noises they make are just heartbreaking. It's over. Let him escape, poor guy. Nice XP. Loads of shields. Not much in the way of weapons, but that's all going to add to the money we make. Ooh, we got ourselves an achievement. Not so noble. Defeat a noble house's unit. You had hoped to perhaps raid all that you could from the caravan, but the guards set fire to everything before it could be stolen away. Unfortunate, but all that matters is that House Niedergard's army did not get their hands on all this equipment. That should help. Let's stop in at Tonderhovel and see what we can buy. 228 for tools. I reckon we'll buy both of those. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't need that. Don't need any of these. Don't need any of that or that. That can go. All of these shields can go. Certainly don't need all these helmets. I think we need one of each. That's crazy to think that we have Hallbergs are classified as junk at this point. Oh yeah, I struggle with the same thing. Like listening to the sound the dogs make when they die. Ooh, I can't handle any sort of dogs getting hurt or dying. I remember seeing a Reddit thread this morning, like, what's the saddest movie? And people are saying things like, you know, The Notebook and all sorts of shit like that. For me, it's Turner and Hooch. You know, like 1 minute it's a cool, like, buddy cop movie with Tom Hanks and a dog, and then the damn thing goes and dies. Fuck, it's tragic. 65. What does it do to your fatigue? 215 as opposed to 1. Yeah, I think that's worth it. 76, 42. Yeah, that's worth it. Just go for plain Hallbergs. Nice la. Okay. Don't need that or that. I do need to... God, should we just hang on to 2 spare Hallbergs? I can't believe I'm selling male Hallbergs. We worked so hard to get them. And now we don't even need them anymore. Crazy. Progress gets made. Have I seen Hachi? No, I haven't. Apparently Marley and Me is fucking tragic as well when the little dog dies. I still hold out hope that we can find someone better to help. Ooh, a wild man. Tempting. But 850 is expensive just to fish for someone. He comes to the level up. I think we should try him. Two wild men. They're both hired. So they're wild men, so you know they've got huge fatigue. The question is, where are their stars? Ooh, he's determined. That's awesome. Okay. This is fan-bloody-tastic. So this is a Huskarl, 100%. He's got the range defense we need. He's got the huge fatigue, so he can wear super heavy armor, and he can benefit from adrenaline. And he's got determined, so effectively he's got plus 10% to his melee attack and melee defense. So that's awesome. So Bjorni, welcome. He's a Huskarl. Ooh, hello, Humbert. The tough triple star melee defense. This is a raider if I've ever seen one. And then eventually we can actually replace our sword raiders, because at level 11 to only have 71 melee skill, or 69 level 10, that's no good. 57 at level 1 is pretty crap as well, though. He'll 100% be a raider, but just the question of what type of raider would still need to be answered. I think we'll level him up and then we'll decide whether to make him an axe or a shield raider. If he doesn't have the highest attack value, we'll turn him into an axe raider so he can at least break shields. If he gets a decent melee value, we can turn him into a warhammer raider. So let's shelve the B team archers and get some experience on our raiders. I'm just thinking, potentially Humbert, could I slap some decent armor on you? Get you straight into the front line. Not quite. 56 at level 1. I reckon he could survive. He can go straight into the front line. Which I like, because then we can have the standard 7 and 5 loadout that I've been wanting to have for a while now. Okay. Need a dagger. Okay, so Quintus Urbanus is going to be an X-Raider. I think we actually don't need him. Someone can get replaced here, because Quintus needs to take his place on the front line. He's definitely going to be a full-on X-Raider. I mean, God, I hate to shelve one of the level 10 raiders, but I think we're going to have to. How much fatigue do you have, Bioni? 62. Can he start life as a raider already? Not quite. The thing is, once Quintus hits level 5, we can give him Brawny and he can go straight into the front line. Burton, we're going to hang on to just until he gets a map that he can decode. How much are we paying per day for you, Quintus? 32 per day. 29 per day. He's only got 69 melee skill. That's just not good enough. My ideal setup is this. So 7 guys up front. Raider, ideally a hammer raider. A mace master. Then you've got an axe master. So it's raider, axe master, mace master, raider, mace master, axe master, raider. You have the axe masters here, so they can break shields to let everybody else go to work. And then my ideal setup has 4 archers like this, so they can just lay down lots of damage. But obviously it depends on what you're fighting. If you're fighting an undead heavy formation, then you want less archers and more... In fact, you want no archers. If I'm fighting full-on undead, my lineup will look more like this. So the masters are the guys who are my shield bearers. So like, so Aurelius is a flail master, so he uses a shield. My raiders take masteries, but I just call them raiders because they are the non-shield using guys. Actually, Bioni is going to be a Huskal, so let's try this instead. I reckon he'll be fine in that setup. I mean, could I maybe give him the Warhammer? But the thing is then, with -1 range defense and -3 melee defense, it's going to take a while before he's good enough to actually do anything. But I reckon, look, he's got 79 hit points. His defense isn't great, but he'll learn quick. We've just got to keep him alive, and he's got heavy enough armor that he should be quite survivable. Where's that second two-handed weapon? We had a two-handed axe. Here we go. So this is nice here. Okay, we've got a spare sergeant. We've got someone who's going to be an axe raider once we get him leveled up. And then Bertwin is just there to decode. As soon as we get a map and he decodes it, we'll get rid of him. Because, I mean, he's not much of a fighter. Okay, oh God, our roster is big. But we are earning quite a lot, so that's good. Well, I think I have to take these +3s just to get him out of the negatives there. And +3, that's good. Pretty much the same for our Huskal. Although, honestly, our Huskal doesn't need anything in melee defense. He's always going to be on the back line. Remember, Ilupi, when you're fighting undead, undead take massively reduced damage from crossbows and bows and arrows. The throwing weapons don't have the damage reduction, but really with undead, unless you're talking zombies, which take full damage from crossbows, I'm talking about the tough undead. I'm talking about ancient dead, ancient auxiliaries, the fucking necrosavants. You can't have archers when you're fighting against necrosavants. If you're fighting against necrosavants, the most archers you can have is 2, because you can put them in the middle of a formation like this, and as soon as the round starts, you can take the 2 guys from the front of the 7 formation, loop them around the back, and then there's only one square where they can get to your archers, the necrosavants that is. And then the necrosavants will always go for that square, but then they would have been surrounding themselves to, I think, 3 or 4 of your guys, and you can kill them quite quickly. Okay, what am I doing? I'm Biani the Huskal. You don't need that much melee skill. You need fatigue, you need range defense. Your resolve is fine. We'll take the melee skill. For the Huskal, I might even end up taking footwork on him, because if he gets engaged in melee range, he can just footwork away from it. He just needs to have loads of range defense, because he's never going to use a shield. God, I love that we hired these wild men. Wild men are one of my absolute favorite classes. They're expensive, but they have gigantic fatigue reserves. And I swear they have the best passive stats for whatever reason. Okay, so Bertwin is going to get fired as soon as he decodes the map. Quintus, I want to get into the front line at some point. So let's decide who of the current front line is going to get replaced next. I think it has to be Lars who's going to get replaced. But then the question is, who do I replace him with? I think as soon as Marcus Agrippa hits level 5, which is after the next fight. No, he's a Huskal. Never mind. There is an axe rider, Quintus. As soon as Quintus hits level 5. I'm just thinking who I can bench for a bit to get some XP on Quintus. It's got to be Lucius. Oh, I hate only giving him a male Hauberk. I'll tell you what, that's going to wreck his fatigue, but I mean, he just needs to survive. His damage output isn't that important. Staying alive is his absolute #1 priority. Let's just go down to, thanks for the follow, L2P. Welcome to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. Right, enough talk. Let's go get paid, boys. Is there any other person here I might want to buy to fish for soldiers? I don't think so. I think the only guys we need to fish for now is 2 new hunters to replace our B team archers. Because as good as they are with 89 and 82, at level 12, 82 ranged, it's just not good enough and we can do better. Okay, let's get drunk. Well done, boys. One quick last look in the market. We've got all we need. Let's get some more booze. Time to get paid, lads. Return to the war camp. Good God, what's our daily rate? 487. Ouchie. That's expensive. Yeah, prices here are horrendous. We actually don't need any more melee skill, guys, I don't think. I think we have enough. What do we have here? Nothing worth getting involved in. Sir Rupert nods to your reports, but is otherwise not really paying any attention to you. A bunch of battle maps are laid out on a table and his eyes are focused in on those instead. You understand it. Tomorrow is the big battle and he has better things to think about. You decide to turn in for the night. Oh wow, are we going to do more? Holy crap, we've still got the main battle. Holy shit, this is not the time to have a level 1 on the front line then. We also need all our archers if we're going to be in a big battle. I'm just thinking, do I maybe put Picasus in place of Quintus? Only 44 hit points though, but 66 melee skill, 68, only 45 fatigue. He's going to be knackered all the time. Wait, hang on, that setup isn't right. Yep. I'm so worried about facing all those enemy arbalesters. They are freaking terrifying. We need to get paid, by the way. We've got another day's worth. Anyway, Sir Rupert comes to stand in front of his men. He's attired in spectacular battle garments, standing astride his men like a pearl among beach sands. He explains that they must win the battle. For losing it might just as well lose the entire war. He's saying anything to get the men invested, you think? You sure as shit wouldn't die for dainty nobility just because some honor-seeking commander divined it from political spirits. And then again, that attitude is why you're a mercenary to begin with. Onwards, brothers, it's a battle to win. Holy shit! A few knights, a sergeant, some war dogs, standard bearers, many arbalesters. Oh my god, this is terrifying. Well, we've at least got them to help us. Ah, jeez. I wish I could have fallen back and switched out the kite shields. Well, I don't think there's any way to put it off. We just need to get stuck in, really. The knights are scary. Good luck, 13th Legion. Okay, so 27 verse 30. How many of those are dogs? We have way better armor than they do. Although that is a warbow. They've got 2 warbows. And it's only level 2 crossbows, which is still scary, but not that bad. It's the bull hooks that are the biggest threat. And of course their knights are frickin' terrifying. Careful with that crossbow, you absolute tit. Ouchie. Okay, our archers should make short work of these guys who move out in front. Not wearing a helmet, that's brave. Right, Mark Antony. He doesn't have a clear shot. Oh, he does on that mercenary there. I think you have to go for it. That's a warbow he's shooting with. Good damage. I think we need to let the allies tank as much damage as possible. Ah, yes. Good work. So wherever I don't have a clear shot at their ranged guys, I'm going to be shooting at their pikemen wherever the pikemen are exposed. Because as soon as the battle lines are joined, we're not going to have clear shots at their pikemen. Well, I also think killing the standard bearer as soon as we can is going to be a good idea. It's going to hurt their morale. I'm confident we can win, but I do worry that we're going to take casualties. I'll be supremely impressed if we get through this without any casualties. Has he gone yet? His turn is done. Okay, he's not going to move forward then. So I can either fire twice into this group of enemies here, or I can shoot once at this guy, and I think shooting once at him is the better bet. And I fucking missed the 80% shot. Urgh. Given the amount of archers we have, I'm happy. Oh, fuck, that's scary. Okay, he's a very hard... Oh, good God. God, look at all these billmen. I might have to spend the next turn just trying to shoot down some of these billmen, because they are going to really hurt our front lines. And we're going to run out of opportunities to shoot at them out in the open pretty damn quick. Hold your position, men. So that looks like scale mail. That looks like a reinforced mail Horberg. See, I don't want to put away his shield just yet. Doing so is pretty much a guarantee that he's going to eat a crossbow bolt to the face. Good, that's made a bunch of us confident. Oh, damn, I forgot to give my sergeant nets. Brave doggo. Oh, come on, dude. Okay, the archers are staying out in the open, which is wonderful for us. Gives us shots at them. Why did that arbalest move forward into melee range? The tit. Ooh, why are they moving around? Thank God for our shields. Ooh, casual headshot. Okay, that dude is target number 1. Although wherever we can get unobstructed shots at their billmen, I should probably take him. Just fuck that arbalest. If he hits one of us, that's probably an instant death. We can probably survive a body shot. I think that tier 3 crossbow does the same damage as a warbow, which is 50 to 75, but it'll have, that arbalester will have crossbow specialist, so 75% will ignore armor of 50 to 75, so that's 35 to 50 hit point damage to the body. If it hits the head, that's like a one shot. I think we just throw everything we have now at this arbalester. Hope we get lucky. No, just like that, Mark Anthony with the clutch kill. Oh, that is so big. Mark Anthony, I don't know what we're paying you, but it's not enough, dude. God, that was clutch. And he hits the standard bearer as well. So I've experimented with the crossbows, and the crossbows are amazing in the early to mid game. They are wonderful for essentially guaranteeing inflicting wounds, but the thing is, as soon as your archers are able to use warbows, then the warbows are just the way to go. The warbows just, they out damage, they out DPS the crossbows. And obviously a crossbow does more damage against an armored target, but overall, if you look at the wide variety of enemies you're going to be facing, the vast majority of enemies aren't that heavily armored that the extra armor pierce of the crossbow is justified, in my opinion. And see, putting him here is dangerous because he's in contact with no less than 4 billmen, but that guy didn't have a helmet, so I had to go for it. Okay, I think it's time to send Lars on a flanking shot. Yeah, Dying Cow. So, on the little podcast that myself and Bosco the Bear and Hans Gruber do, I think it's episode 3, I was making the argument for using crossbows, and then Hans Gruber just broke it down, and you can't argue with what he was saying. The crossbows are cool, and they're kind of like niche cool, but at the end of the day, you need to go for a warbow. The warbows are just too good. I mean, you've seen the damage output of four warbowmen. Only crossbow is the Impaler is the goblin crossbow that makes people move back. There can be some tactical use, but I just think damage. Just the best tactic. I mean, look at this. Look at that. That Electoral Spanky is... First of all, the fact that he's a monk and he's a good archer was just super lucky. But look at that. That was 3 shots with a warbow, and he killed 2 guys. Also remember, that's because of Berserk. With a crossbow, you can only shoot twice. If you have an already loaded crossbow and you can shoot to get a kill, Berserk triggers, you reload, shoot again, but you can't move. Or if you start with an unloaded crossbow, you have to reload, shoot once, it triggers Berserk, you don't have enough AP to reload it and shoot again. So there's not enough situations where you're getting to attack twice with a crossbow. And even then, you're only doing roughly comparable damage to the warbow. So the battle is won. Now it's just a question of getting through this with as few or no deaths. The other good result we can hope for is capturing that knight, getting his armor, because he's wearing scale mail. But the presence of all these footmen means it's not going to happen. He's just going to get outright killed. One-handed weapons like axes and swords and niche, yeah. Yeah, attacking twice, getting that use out of Berserk is just amazing. But just bear in mind, you need someone with a large enough fatigue pool to be able to use that Berserk. It doesn't help you get a second attack if you don't have the fatigue to use it. I would also take a second to mention, honorable mention for throwing weapons. Throwing weapons are hilarious, first of all. They're so satisfying to use. So what's good about throwing weapons? So they cost 300 gold, and if you have throwing weapon specialization and you are throwing a throwing axe from 2 squares away, you are doing almost the same amount of damage as a warbow, and you can do that from pretty much day 1. The downside is you can't throw really further than four squares. It's super expensive because every axe you throw counts as 4 ammunition. You have to take deep pockets and you have to take quick hands to be able to carry 16 axes and be able to use them without having to waste AP to flick between the different quivers. And even if you do that, if you sink 2 perk points into deep pockets and quick hands, you still can only throw 16 throwing weapons, which is 1.5 quivers of arrows. The throwing weapons are great if you're fighting against undead. The only time I might consider having some throwing weapon guys is if I know I've got an undead invasion as my late game crisis. I mean, look at these warbows. They're just so... this is ridiculous. They're lethal, they are. Oh, poor doggo. Okay, we're actually smashing these guys, which is surprising. Although, let's not get overconfident yet, huh? We still got to deal with these 2 knights. Okay, I forgot that he's in riposte. I wish there was a little indicator over their heads when they're in riposte. I always forget when the enemy's in riposte. Even though throwing weapons get out, yeah. I mean, like, I'll use throwing weapons in niche situations, but I would certainly never build someone as a specialist throwing weapon user. Maybe if I'm playing, you know, like a joke campaign. I mean, earlier, a few seasons ago, I played the Lost Vikings, which was like a Axis only quasi Viking playthrough. You can kind of justify it then. but it's still never going to be as good. You can make it work, and it is pretty entertaining, I assure you. Hang on, isn't that Arbalester is still out there? There's still a tier 3... Oh no, we killed him. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, Danko, I agree with that absolutely, Danko. Yeah, that's by far the best way. Ancient Dead are such ball bags. Ugh. I mean, a few episodes ago, I uploaded these to YouTube, we fought against the Ancient Dead, and I had my archers who, when they were able to do decent damage against the Ancient Dead, they got onto the flanks and they were using throwing weapons against the pikemen. Because the throwing axes do pretty damn good armor damage. Get him, boys. Ooh. At some point I want to make a break and see if I can't catch out those archers. Wait, Quintus has quick hands. Wouldn't never done the Black Monolith. Like, so I've played a lot. I've got 500 odd hours in this game. But I've never saved scum, so the vast majority of my early game campaigns all ended in failures. But I'm happy with that. It's all part of the story, in my opinion. Although, let's not talk too soon, but this campaign is heading for being late game enough that we might even be able to get to, you know, doing a Black Monolith type of thing. I hope. Come on. Oh yeah. Using 200 hammers on the sides to shatter, break, flank enemies to works great. Oh right, yeah, because the Black Monolith you have to kill a few enemies and then retreat and then go back in and out. Hans Gruber has told me that the Black Monolith is a effing nightmare. I think it's like 60 enemies, I think it is. Yeah, terrain, you as you say, you would need the perfect terrain. You'd need the perfect starting setup as well on perfect terrain. Ooh, scary. 47, holy crap. Yeah, like LTP for me, like, that's all part of the story, you know. Each little ragged band of mercenaries you have has their own story. And they don't all go very well. I would recommend going into my YouTube channel and watching the last episode of the previous playthrough. I think it was the Vikings, and we gave them a proper Viking send-off, and we fought to the last man. And I had Amazing Grace playing on the bagpipes as they all went down. It was pretty cool. Oh, whoopsie out. See, I've just out of habit ended his turn. I forgot that he had Berserk there. Right. Get him. Wrecked. Yeah, but that's obviously expensive, but I'm sure that by the time you're in a position to do the Black Monolith, the cost of doing that isn't an issue. I mean, like, I remember watching Hans Gruber's stream a couple of months ago, and he had like 150,000 in gold in reserve. Oh shit, Quintus could actually die here. I've just been casually acting as though the fight is over, and Quintus is in trouble. Oh god, what am I doing? It's so worth it. Yeah, I can only imagine what riches you must get from doing the Black Monolith. But I would imagine once you that deep into the campaign, once you've done the Black Monolith, you can pretty much retire and call it a day. Ah, damn it, Electora! Okay, we need to get Quintus off the front line. That was a series of horrible play there, but I wasn't paying attention. Okay, Quintus, what can you do? Strike him down. Almost. Oh! Spectre Patronum, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Camelot. Tis a silly place. So worth it drops the Emperor's armor. Well, I think what I want to do on my next playthrough is another themed playthrough. So this wasn't really a themed one. This was just a do whatever I can to do the best I can. My next playthrough, I want to do the Dovecool playthrough, where you just hire as many religious lunatics as you can and try to get the armor of Dovecool as soon as you can. So I'm going to hire only flagellants and what are they called again? The cultists, and then eventually everyone will become cultists. Because that armor of Dovecool looks freaking amazing. It's like 300 armor that regenerates every turn. And I just think, like, in terms of the story, the narrative of the playthrough would be pretty cool, having all these, you know, religious lunatics. And you can spout off such nonsense. Cult of Dovecool will rise. Stuff like that. Okay, so we've got one knight, another knight in that bush. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then a 7th guy somewhere. I don't know quite where. Oh wow, yeah. So well, I would imagine it would require that you have a full group of cultists, and even then, it's still not guaranteed you get the armor. Got yet another cultist, because I think for the armor you need 2 sacrifice events, don't you? You need a sacrifice event for the helmet, and a sacrifice event for the armor. I've just moved Quintus out of... Oh, God, I'm stupid. I'm not focusing, because like I think to myself, oh, this battle's won, and I stop making mistakes. Luckily, I got away with it there. Actually, that knight, that looks like a coat of plate mail. Let's, if we can dagger him, let's do so. I'm just worried that this Sir Rupert and the other guy are going to ruin his armor. Quickly, lads, give him the old surround. The old surround and stab. Ooh, Sir Otto. We'll just try dagger them. It's unlikely we get their armor, but it's worth a try. Yeah, this armor's gonna get wrecked. How do I destroy their shields? I'll only axe user. Ooh, does that help? That doesn't help us. No. Oh, get decapitated. So unfortunately I don't have rotation on my guys. If I had rotation I could rotate these allied soldiers out of position. Okay, it's just the 2 knights. We'll try stab them, but the chances of getting their armor are like 0. Quintus, just chill. Company's not a company, it's a cult. Fair enough. If I was going to do a cultist playthrough, I think I would choose the undead event. Just because your cultists are going to have such high resolve. And if that's the playthrough to fight against undead, I think it's the cultist one. Yeah, his armor's going to get wrecked. We might get the helmet. Got these poor knights surrounded in a swarm, getting beaten to death. Well, you wanted to stand against House Periwinger. This is what you get. I was going to say it's like a battle out of Game of Thrones, which reminds me, Game of Thrones Season 7 is out when it's pretty soon, isn't it? What's the date today? Today is the 4th of June. I think it's 11th of June. No, July that it's out. No, it's July now. Oh, it's soon. Can't wait. Rip, down he goes. We might still get that armor if Bitzelfuss and Lars can hit all their dagger shots in the next turn. Nope, not gonna happen. Yeah, no way. Alright, just kill him. Well fought, men. We hardly lost anything. Once again, our archers made all the difference. Ooh, one or two more shots. Absolute touch the F around this guy. Oh, ammo. Yep, he's fleeing. And there goes his armor. The daggers do nothing to that armor. Run him down. What's my stance on the two-tile melee weapons like pole arm, since you only seem to be using the banner? So the pole arms are cool, and you'll see, depending on the enemies we fight, there will be situations when I won't have any archers. You've triumphed well, you and Sir Rupert's men both. The battle has been won. That's what is most important. You step over the mounds of bodies, prepare to return to your employer. Victory! Right, so a bunch of level ups, very nice. The pole arms are amazing, but I mean, I really like the fact that almost all the fights we have here start with us getting 1 or 2 rounds of 4 archers just annihilating whatever's approaching us. If you have a setup that doesn't have any archers, you know, it's always a fair fight. The archers make it a not fair fight in your favor. Oh, look at all this. God, we're going to make a fortune selling all of this stuff. These are just veteran levels. Who's going to go onto the front line? Humbert. God, Quintus does tend to get hurt. Oh well. Oh, you felt useless in reserve, you poor baby. We'll give him a fight then, with a two-handed axe. Anybody else feeling a bit upset? I'm loving all these bullocks we have. Bloody great. Righto. I will say that I have also had a playthrough where I didn't have any ranged users weapons whatsoever. It certainly can be done, but the thing is then you have to become night fighters, because when you're up against an enemy group that has a lot of archers, obviously their frontline guys will just sit there and protect the archers, and you have to charge them. So at least at night then, they get their enemy archers get a minus 30% ranged accuracy. And don't get me wrong, I think once you get that type of group up to speed, they can be lethal, particularly because you can do the Roman legionary type tactics where you have 6 and 6 like this, and everybody is absolutely identical in what they do. All your frontline guys will, for example, start with, let's say, best case scenario, they have a two-handed axe and a one-handed axe, and you have 12 guys who are absolutely identical like that, and then everybody has rotation. So then as soon as someone on the front line gets injured, they just swap out, and then the guy who was using a two-handed axe, long axe, switches to his one-handed axe, and just goes to work. And the guy who was injured goes to his long axe and just keeps fighting. So it can work, but super difficult. I might even try that for my next season for the cultists. You will lack a bit of tactical flexibility with that though, because obviously axes only, for those of you who watched season 3 or 4, is in certain situations it's amazing, but generally it's not. And you have to be prepared to lose a lot of guys because you're going to suffer a lot of casualties, because you can't always leverage your archers to get you out of trouble. Are we ever going to use the heavy crossbow? No. A spare warbow, we'll hang on to it. Don't need that. The bullhooks, we only need 2 in reserve. We don't need that, or any of that, or that, or that, or that. That's crap. Don't need that. How many of these kite shields? We need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll flog those. Any of the Niedergard stuff. Don't need any of that stuff. I can't believe what classifies as junk now. We're doing so well. Let's just leave 1 and 1 of these, I think. 1 and 1. Good, 48 out of 90. We've had a good old clear out here. That's excellent. Tools for 300. Yeah, fine. Wow, so that was our first major battle, and we triumphed. Well done, 13th Legion. Well done, men. I think we have some injuries that need to get treated. So let's find a city that has the nearest city with a temple. Get ourselves out there. You know what? We've actually got spare helmets here. I can actually sell all of this stuff. So look, L2P, if you can get that to work, I would suggest trying it. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, if you want to go all in on that tactic, you could even justify giving everybody Pathfinder and Adrenaline, because you need to close the gap as soon as you can. So obviously, you know, like the first round will start. You'll wait until all the enemies go. They'll take a round of shooting at you. You sprint forward towards them, activate Adrenaline. Do that with everybody. Then you'll be 2 squares away from them. The next turn starts. You'll get to go first. Your frontline guys will hit their front line and be able to get their shields up, but then they'll have no fatigue left. Your backline then can try to loop around their backline and get hold of their archers before their archers flee. You can probably envelop the entire enemy formation by the start of the second turn, but just bear in mind everybody's going to be too tired to do anything else. So there's a downside to everything. Right. We've got enough tools. We don't need to sell any of this stuff. Don't need that or that. Unbelievably, we don't even need that stuff. I think we can start saving for our next set of scale mail. So eventually I want these kettle hats. What's the best fatigue to armor ratio on the helmets? It's probably a closed flat top. That's 280 for 19, and this is 215 for 14. Okay, so we still need a fair amount. Okay, we need more work, and we need to find a temple. What you got for us? Because the ingredients have been ruined, sell sword. Raid House of Mowine's territory, yep, that's fine. 5 old days will cost you. I need to be paid more. 810, 3,200, I accept. Bam. Who's here to be hired? No fresh meat that's worth hiring. The only new hires we're going to keep our eyes out for are hunters or witch hunters to replace our B-team archers. And at some point I want to buy this great axe. And eventually I want 5 fighting spears in reserve. Because if we're going to have to use fighting spears, it may as well be fighting spears. Also, I need to remember to keep my eyes peeled for roundels. I want a roundel for everybody on the front line. And what's this? A closed and padded flat top. That's 180 for 11. That's really good. 280 for 19. 4,200. I mean, that is the best of the best in terms of armor, so we'll buy that at some point. Anyway, we'll take a little break, and when we come back, we will be destroying barracks, Stonewatch Tower, Amber Collector, House Niedergard. You're gonna get effed up, homeboy. It's gonna suck for you.